We got, what's it called? El Monte, right? Are we staying up by the 210 for the? They're on the south side. Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, they're breaking out spike strips. 086 takes you direct to basically where they're at. Hang on. He's passing. He's going south. He's south of Arrow now. So let me get you an updated heading. 090. And now he's dropping south. Yeah, that's where I just dropped the pin. So you just pass that. Seneca, Covina. Oh, he's already at Cypress. He's going to be on Badillo here in a moment. He just passed Cypress. You better pick up Grand or something, or maybe he'll go west Badillo, because it's going to be a right. He seems to be he likes right turns. He ran a stop sign. Oh yeah, definitely. I got this scanner up. You can listen to it. That's all they're talking about. All right. 089. No, I haven't heard him call it yet. 098 takes us direct. You're good where we're at. Yep. You're good where we're at. Man, we're not even past the 605. How far out are we? Yeah, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, he's westbound again. He's coming, saving us time. He's on Puente now. Puente and Grand. I'm going to drop a pin at Citrus, give you a new heading if it's okay. It's just going to be more south. No, you're good. Barranca, he's heading towards the 10. I still like your heading better. Workman. Oh, we got to get past. No, we don't. Hang on. Yeah, let's see if he gets on the freeway. We're going to find out right now. He's coming up to the 10. Westbound. Westbound 10. Westbound 10. We can still pick it up. We're good where we're at, right? He's on the other side of the hill, isn't he? Yeah, coming up to Citrus. You're right. Where are the helicopters? I believe you. Yeah, we should just pick up the 10. If he's coming up to Citrus, he's heading towards us. He's right. Oh, wait a minute. Where are we looking? Yeah, he's right over here somewhere. He's right by the mall. Hang on. You got it? Is it westbound? Because he. Yeah, it should be like right in front of us. I don't see it out on the road, but I believe you. This way here, they'll pass us. We're here. Is that the car? I don't know. What was the description of the chopper? Super low, right over the freeway. Yeah, it is. It's the white truck. It's the white truck. It's definitely the white truck. It's positive. I'm positive. It's up further. That's what I'm saying. It's up further. Keep going. Keep going. It's way ahead of the helicopter. And there is a cop behind him. It's the white pickup truck. Are you sure? Hang on. 70 to 80 miles an hour. Which one? The one that's that one. That one. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. If anybody's talking at me, go ahead. I got everything turned down. What do you need? Copy all. And are we confirmed this is carjacking? Whoa! Doing some lane changes. Well, this vehicle actually just got on the 10 freeway. We're in the Covinas right now, actually West Covina. You can see how quickly this vehicle is moving. Sheriff's Department, they actually are pursuing this vehicle, but after that maneuver, just moments before we came on live, that vehicle basically went all the way from the carpool lane all the way to the right side, just cutting a bunch of vehicles off. They do have a helicopter above it, and they are saying that this is a carjacking suspect. Now, in any type of carjacking, you just assume by the words carjacking that there was a weapon involved. If the weapon is a gun, when this comes to an end, it's going to be an interesting ending just in that aspect, because officers are going to have that extra tension of this suspect being armed. There you go, Justin, getting a wider shot. You can see one of the sheriff's vehicles in pursuit of this car. Again, the pickup truck. Again, this is going to be westbound 10 freeway, and we're passing orange. That's going to be the off-ramp. That's the big one. And there you go again with one of those crazy lane changes, cutting all the way across. There's the sheriff's helicopter above. Very dangerous situation indeed. Very reckless driver. Yeah, that's right. We're trying to see if he's getting off. Nope, he didn't get off the off ramp. You know, we've our guys at the booth down there. As soon as they saw that picture of the car, they came to us almost immediately. But we have been listening to it the entire ride out here from the Van Nuys area. This vehicle has been driving mostly on surface streets, up by the 210 on surface streets, making its way down to the 10 freeway. He was on Barranca. As soon as he got on that 10 freeway, westbound was his direction, and he basically has been there ever since. High speeds, reckless driving, a lot of these wicked maneuvers where you basically see that car passing on the wrong side of the road and also cutting a lot of these other folks off. Now the helicopter is staying with it, making those calls. Thank goodness there are some law enforcement down there behind it. At least some of those lights and sirens might be giving some of these folks heads up. I'm looking ahead, and I can tell you that the 605 is the next major freeway up there, and there is a lot of traffic between here and there. Hopefully it doesn't collide with anybody, but again, they're above it. They're keeping an eye on it, and they're calling this pursuit. This is a carjacking suspect, dangerous driver behind the wheel, not just in the poor driving and the high speeds, but also could be armed. Well, you know, the LA, all the law enforcement, this is the sheriff's department that's still in pursuit. They might hand this off to the California Highway Patrol. All law enforcement in Los Angeles have lots of tricks in their bag of tricks to try to get these vehicles to stop. We did hear them earlier on when they were on surface streets trying to use some spike strips to bring this thing to an end, but that didn't work because they just didn't have that opportunity to get ahead of that vehicle fast enough and deploy those spike strips. On the freeway makes it even more difficult. We do know just from anybody living in the Los Angeles area, we all sit, we all watch, we all get an idea how they can do these things. Most of the time, though, it's basically just follow that vehicle. Hopefully that driver will come to their senses and just pull over. But are there actual ways to bring this to a stop? Of course, but they have to have those windows of opportunity, making that hard right, going back over to the number one lane. When he does this, I'm always kind of thinking, is he looking for an off-ramp? Because you know, he's moving off to the right, making those hard turns. But right now, it seems like the westbound 10, his destination is out to the west, moving very, very quickly this morning on the 10 freeway. And doesn't seem like the speeds are slowing down, but the helicopter, the sheriff's helicopter, still above it, making those calls. Maybe we'll see some CHP intervention here shortly. You know, that's right. And, you know, a lot of times we see these things run out of fuel. And now we're finding out that this started in the West Covina area, but he basically just went right through that area. But right now, this vehicle is still moving very, very quickly, and we're getting confirmation that, you know, carjacking is the actual crime, a dangerous crime in itself. But when you hear carjacking, it could actually just be somebody opening up the door saying, "Get out, or I'm gonna pummel you," or however it was taken. But it was physically taken by force from somebody. And just the words carjacking, you just kind of think to yourself, you know, I'm not personally going to walk away from my vehicle if somebody just threatens me. But if you show me a gun or something like that, you know I'm going to get out of the car, even though I do love my car very much. Right there you can see the Sheriff's Department still behind it, code 3. That at least is giving a lot of the folks in the area, the drivers on the freeway, giving them a little bit of heads up. Something's going on. They might get their heads on a swivel just to see, and might help prevent a possible collision. Right now, though, about 9, just basically under 90. You got the mileage up there. Just basically has been up in almost to 90 miles an hour, but just continuing westbound. And that's basically the direction this vehicle has been going since we've been hearing it. Even when it was on the surface streets, it goes south a little bit, but west seemed to be the direction that this truck, or this driver of this truck, has been wanting to go. Right now, though, they're still driving high speeds. Freeway lightening up a little bit, but everybody knows when we start getting into the Boyle Heights area, downtown Los Angeles, that traffic's really going to start backing up. Hopefully nobody gets injured. You know, the speeds are, he's kind of leveled it out. He's gotten in that carpool lane, just making that time right there. Lighter traffic on that. This is one of those paid lanes area, express lanes. So there is less traffic, and you can see him passing so much of that bottled up traffic. When he gets into that heavier area in downtown Los Angeles, you know, we've seen these vehicles really start to get aggressive. We never want to see anybody hurt, but in my personal opinion, I don't even want to see anybody's car get damaged. You know, we see these suspects basically push through traffic, bumping some of these other cars just to get through. Right now, though, as I'm hearing some crosstalk in the helicopter, correct me if I'm wrong, some bad luck for one of the deputies, as we're hearing that one of them got a flat tire while pursuing this. So now they're basically, it's the helicopter and maybe the other one's got to here we go, getting way over. We're going to be getting off here on. Yeah, just getting right off that freeway, a little hard turn, and making its way into the. I got to look. It's the San Gabriel there, Monterey Park. So we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully, this vehicle's is going to start obeying some of these traffic signals. That was one of the things that really worried me on our way out here. I constantly was hearing the words running red light, running a red light, running, and you just worry. So I do personally whenever that happens. Somebody's got a green, maybe they're just, trying to make their way wrong side of the road, and definitely coming up on a solid red here. You can see that long, and yeah, and just making his way just past Garfield there. I'm hearing that Suburban that was behind it when it got off the freeway, that was some sort of law enforcement. They haven't made contact with that person, but apparently law enforcement in that Suburban possibly keeping up with this vehicle. But 60 miles an hour on these streets out here, I believe this is going to be Valley that we're taking, is just, it's way too fast. That's all I got to say. Slowing down a little bit, but again, so happy we don't have any traffic out here. Coming up to a major here in just a moment, a major intersection. I believe it's going to be Mission. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Oh, don't. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, and every time they get to those intersections, at least you slow down a little bit, but still, it is. People have an idea. You just don't want to see that type of collision happen. That white vehicle that's chasing that pickup truck right there, that Suburban, we are getting confirmation that that is some sort of law enforcement, maybe undercover, but definitely keeping with this suspect this early afternoon, making another hard turn there to the south. That is Atlantic, southbound Atlantic is where he's at right now. But this driver clearly committed this crime of carjacking this vehicle, does not want to be taken into custody. It seems like this person doing whatever they can right now to keep that law enforcement away from them. But it seems very much like we continue to the west, so there might be a destination. It's all going to unfold. We're going to watch it live. But again, you can see that vehicle now taking a center lane, making its way against traffic. That law enforcement vehicle, we can see the strobes every now and then, but we know that they have sirens. Back onto, I believe this is going to be onto Valley is what they're talking, Valley Boulevard right now. So it's westbound on Valley. Other law enforcement, might be Monterey Park PD getting involved as well. Sheriff's helicopter above it. But my goodness, so happy we have not seen a collision. Hopefully this will come to a peaceful end as that vehicle stops somewhere. Definitely speeding on the freeway, no doubt about it. We're on Valley, we're westbound. It looks like either we're coming up on Fremont. That's going to be the next major out here. And you're correct. I was calling it. I was calling it Monterey Park. We're clearly in Alhambra. I'm wondering if that vehicle that is chasing it now, the black and white, that Suburban has dropped back. I'm wondering if that's going to be a sheriff's unit or possibly Monterey Park. But you can see right there that Suburban, definitely law enforcement, offering some sort of backup to his brethren right there, as that sheriff's vehicle, I believe, is going to be the one that is the number one in this pursuit. And then also, because it is a possibility or is described as a carjacking, that's not a possibility, that's the description, they are going to definitely want to have backup when this thing comes to an end. Coming up, I believe, on the 710, where the 710 meets Valley, and it looks like we're going to be taking southbound 710. I'm looking out the window. That's a really good take. It is wide open down there, but we'll see what happens when he gets over to the 10 freeway. Like we've been saying, he's really been having a love affair with that going west, so we'll see where this continues on, but speed's definitely picking up as he's getting onto an empty freeway, southbound 710 from Valley, and it is definitely a pursuit. Sheriff's Department behind it and in the air, making those calls, trying to keep those folks safe on the road as this suspect continues to flee from law enforcement. That's right, and those are the big blessings of what we've been watching right now. You got the California Highway Patrol taking it over from the Sheriff's Department on the ground. Now, that doesn't mean that those sheriff's units are just, pulling over and going back to wherever they came from. I have a feeling that they're going to stay close by. If this gets off the freeway again, they'll be there to take it back over. The Highway Patrol, it also, just to be very clear, once it hits that off-ramp, that officer behind the wheel isn't just, washing his hands of it saying, oh, he's gone. They'll keep with it as much as they can, and they'll make that decision what they'll do in whatever jurisdiction they wind up. But right now, solid 710 freeway, southbound, 2 California Highway Patrols behind it right there. These guys, this is their roads, this is their playground, and this guy definitely not welcome here, so they're going to try to bring this thing to an end as quickly as they can and as safely as he can. Again, with that hard turn getting over to the right, we'll take a look and see where it's going to wind up, but we've already passed the 10, so if he does make a westbound turn, it'll be on the 60 right here, but it looks like we're going to be passing that as well, as he seems pretty established. Center lane's up. As soon as I say it, there he goes, back over to the right again. I'll just keep my mouth shut till we pass the 60. There we go, we're past it. So we're going to stay 710 southbound right now, this pursuit continuing on, making our way into the East Los Angeles area. Whoa! Yeah, definitely a destination, and whatever it was, he changed his mind there. Hard turn right there. We'll get that off-ramp here in just a second as he's making his way off of the freeway. It looks like we're definitely established into the East Los Angeles area. Okay, now I know where we are. We're at Whittier Avenue. I see Cavalry Cemetery right there. So he's definitely on the streets out here. Maybe not the best choice. Going to be very dangerous for any of the folks that are on the road down there. This vehicle seems to not have any care for any kind of red lights or traffic signals. Slowed down a little bit. That seems to be a plus. Maybe that hard turn scared him. It looked like the back end might have came out just a little bit when he made that turn. It looks like we're crossing back over the freeway right there. We'll get you these locations here in just a moment, but you're right. I actually have to, I will admit, it does seem like this person has a destination in mind rather than just taking the opportunity to take whatever road he or she seems to have in front of him. Right now, still making his way through this neighborhood out here. Speeds have slowed down a little bit. Sometimes that means he might be in an area that he knows because he might be able to jump out and run, or it's in an area he has no clue where he's at, and maybe he's trying to get himself back onto a major road. Ooh. Well, he got on those. He was on Telegraph there for just a few moments, and he made his way back onto the 5 freeway. This time, I'm looking out the window. Looks like we're definitely going southbound on the 5. I'm just seeing where the Citadel is in Atlantic Avenue. Yes, he's definitely going to be southbound on the 5 right there. And he had an opportunity to get back off the freeway. He's staying on the freeway. So we're right by the Citadel, southbound. We don't have our map technology just kind of gave up with us. It couldn't keep up with that pursuit. So we can't get you those exact speeds that we've been seeing, but you can just kind of tell by the traffic down there, this vehicle moving just a little bit faster than average traffic. So in Los Angeles, southbound 5, no traffic. I'd probably still put it right about 80 miles an hour, even though he's, definitely about 80 passing that big rig right there. And again, the California Highway Patrol, they're still with it down there, 100%. They have 1 helicopter from the Sheriff's Department, keeping it 2 helicopters. Just Jackson, our pilot today, he just told me that there's actually 2 helicopters from the Sheriff's Department following it now. They really want this guy in custody. There's been many times where we've seen a pursuit where they've backed off because of dangers, or they just felt it, whoever, thank goodness that's not me making those decisions, but somebody in rank is making that decision. Well, we're going to let this guy go, opposed to taking those chances of getting somebody injured. This one seems to be very different, so they must have some information about that driver. They really want this guy off the road and in custody. Yep. Pickup truck. Yeah. That Prius that yeah, that Prius right there keeps blocking him in. Looks like we are taking an off-ramp again. So this is what, I mean, even if I wasn't following a pursuit, this area down here in Commerce, it always gets me really confused. Telegraph, Bandini, all these roads. But we'll get you some roads right here as he got off the freeway. Looks like he's making a U-turn and coming back against, so maybe northbound-ish. Looks like we got off at Garfield. And you can see right there, always busy. This intersection is always busy. And this guy just making his way, pushing his way through those red lights, making another turn southbound, and let's see if he goes under a freeway or up. It looks like we're going to be going northbound off of Garfield right now. So we're going to keep an eye on him, and I just got the thumbs up. Jackson at the tiller of Skyfox definitely has him in sight, and I actually see him down there as well. Looks like he's coming up on another major, and it looks like we're pushing westbound once again. I'm trying to see where the law enforcement is. They've kind of fallen back behind, but that helicopter is still above it, calling out these streets. Whoop. Yep. Making a right turn. It looks like he's getting kind of, getting kind of stuck up between a bunch of these big rigs down there. We're going to keep an eye on it as well. It does, we did hear very clearly that all the units on the ground have backed off. So that is one of those decisions that somebody is making well above my pay grade, and they're basically telling the guys on the ground, just kind of like, let's back off, at least for now. They got that helicopter still above it. I just got to make sure that I'm hearing that as well as correct. But they're just going to keep an eye on it, see if that might get this driver just to slow down a little bit. Maybe not run the next red light. Maybe kind of bring those speeds back down to a safer speed. And that way it's going to protect some of the public as he's going on the wrong side of the road with nobody chasing him down there. But, again, we'll keep an eye on him. But if this thing does come to an end, or this vehicle does stop, or just kind of pulls over and the guy gets out, or gal, believe me, you'll see law enforcement appear out of nowhere, seemingly, that'll be trying to take this guy into custody. Right now, though, it does seem like it's working. Driving a little bit slower. And we're waiting to see what happens when we come up onto a red light, but definitely trying to blend. It looks like he's trying to blend into some traffic. Here comes one of those hard left turns, and clearly a red light for him. And go wide. There he is. There he is. And, yep, and he's making that turn. So is driving a little better, but definitely still dangerous for any of the folks that may be near him. And this pursuit continuing now, and I believe we're back onto Washington, perhaps. I'm all turned around. I got to look out the window and find it. I'm sorry, we don't have our mapping technology today. Right there. .710 Atlantic North. Well, I can tell you right now that he basically got off of Bandini. We were back onto Atlantic. He could have got onto the 710, but he stayed off of that. This freeway takes him back over to the 5. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. The guys and the gals on the ground of law enforcement, they've all backed off. That's not the drivers, not the law enforcement, the boots on the ground as it would be. That's more coming from their bosses. They basically said, too dangerous. We're going to back off, let that helicopter do its job, keep an eye on where this thing is going. Hopefully this person will look in his rearview mirror every now and then, realize, hey, nobody's chasing me. They might be doing it right now as we're coming up into a parking area, and basically just kind of, slow the roll as it would be. They re-engaged it. Thank you. That's that's what I'm like. What is Jackson trying to tell me? So yeah, they've re-engaged it. The sheriff's department back in pursuit of this vehicle, the helicopter above it, and again, we're in the city of Commerce, and a lot of big rigs out here, a lot of unusual traffic, a lot of these big trucks trying to make U-turns or try to work their way into a lot of the businesses out here. So it is dangerous for them as well, making the driving a little bit more difficult. But the sheriff's department, I can tell you, whoever's behind that wheel, trained at this type of driving, trained with these type of maneuvers. The guy or gal that's behind the wheel of that carjacking white pickup truck, I would guess probably doesn't have any high-speed driving experience except for what we've been seeing today. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Wasn't successful. We did hear them earlier on. They were when this was up by Azusa in that area over there, San Gabriel Valley. They were off of Barranca, and I heard them clearly say that one of the units had a spike strip and was trying to get into position, so they were unable to. And we've all in Southern California, we watch enough of these pursuits, and we know that this vehicle moving way too fast for any kind of pit maneuver situation. So right now, we're just kind of keeping an eye on him. It looks like we're getting back onto the freeway. We'll get you that freeway here in just a moment. But, that's basically what they can do. They're going to try to just keep an eye on this vehicle. They might have somebody behind it. They might back off. But eventually, this person is going to stop. And when that happens, that's when they're going to have their moment to try to take that suspect into custody. Right now, it looks like we're on the 5 freeway. When we're looking out the window, we're heading back towards Disneyland, so we're southbound. And you can see that vehicle reestablishing itself in that traffic, just kind of moving along a little faster than what everybody else is doing. But that sheriff's unit right there behind it, lights and sirens, hopefully that'll get some of these drivers' attention, and they'll be able to get out of the way, do what's predictable. That's what law enforcement from behind the wheel has told me a couple of times when we asked them. It's like, when you hear those lights and sirens, don't stop. Don't hit the brakes. I mean, unless you're a suspect. Like if you're just seeing a law enforcement making their way, get over to the right. That's all we expect you to do. Get over to the right, make way, and that's being predictable. Right now, though, this vehicle continues to weave its way through traffic, and it seems like, looking ahead, it's just going to get thicker and thicker, and maybe those lights and sirens, somebody might actually do that, what they're not supposed to do, and stop. That might create that moment where well, now there's a couple of law enforcement where they'll be able to do that traffic stop and take that suspect into custody. Oh, yeah. Yes. Not one collision, not one even like the comment swapping paint. Haven't seen any of that this afternoon or as at all, which is amazing. This driver's still driving very, very erratically. I got to give a shout out to Justin for keeping these wonderful shots up for us, and letting me know that they've switched over to the East LA Sheriff's Department as the ones that are actually in pursuit of this suspect now as he's making his way southbound onto the 5 freeway. The drive itself looks like it's going to be like this for some time. Law enforcement, they're doing what they can. Just get a little closer. Do that command presence. Maybe just if that suspect sees like, hey, there's 4 officers behind me, maybe he'll make the right decision and just kind of pull over, give it up as it would be. Right now, though, the mindset, the only thing I can say is that whoever's driving this vehicle is just trying to drive as long as they can drive. Just keep it, not be taken into custody. And that type of mentality is very dangerous, and law enforcement understands it and sees it. Add in the fact that this is a carjacking suspect and this person may be armed. That makes it extremely dangerous for the law enforcement when this does stop. It's like taking this person into custody might be a little bit more difficult than we've seen in the past. Right now, though, that guy in that car, that Shop 530 that you see right there, that's an excellent driver doing amazing work keeping the public safe, and that suspect just knowing we're right here, we're right behind you, just pull over. Nope. Oh, well, the traffic is about the same. It might be getting a little bit lighter. We have to make it clear. We've been on the southbound 5 now for just a few moments, and I can tell you that we just passed the 605 freeway, and we're continuing southbound. So we're making our way back into the Orange County area. The speeds are actually kind of slowing down as it would be. I mean, even though we're still passing a lot of these cars on the freeway, we're not seeing type of situation anymore. California, that sheriff's vehicle, not sure exactly what he's doing there. Get a little bit wider of a shot, but I know Justin's working with our TOC. Maybe he's backing out. That's that vehicle that was on his tail the entire time, shop 530. So, maybe what they're doing is they're handing this back off to the California Highway Patrol, and that sheriff's unit is basically just kind of yielding to the other law enforcement and maybe just staying in the area in case they need help. But you see that vehicle, as I'm looking out the window, that lane he's in, wide open for quite some time. It does bunch up as we make our way closer to Disneyland. But right now, though, California Highway Patrol looks like they're taking it over. And this vehicle, a carjacking vehicle, started in the Baldwin Park area, is still continuing southbound on the 5. A number of officers, you got 4 of them in the shot, at least 1 or 2 in the air, keeping up. But they want this person in custody. And clearly, there's a little bit more to the story than we know just from a vehicle evading. We're hearing it is a carjacking. Hopefully, this person, if they have a weapon, they surrender it right out when this thing comes to an end, or possibly has tossed it out the window. But right now, this pursuit continuing. Southbound 5 freeway, carjacking suspect. We're making our way away from the Los Angeles area, downtown Los Angeles, and making our way back into the Orange County area. But again, a number of law enforcement, meaning jurisdictions, meaning there's Sheriff's Department in the air and on the ground, and also California Highway Patrol behind it right now, all working together just to get this vehicle to stop and that suspect into custody safely. I did not. Okay. Yes, definitely, and it would seem like we're getting some new information that that is a carjacking with a hostage situation, meaning that they're possibly we have yet to see this, and much like law enforcement, until they actually have eyes on it, that is just we're going to look for. But apparently, there may be a female passenger inside that vehicle. Those windows very tinted. We couldn't see it earlier on. Also, the driver, the suspect of this vehicle, the carjacker, as it would be, apparently extremely agitated. Well, we saw that, and we understand that that might be his reaction to being followed by law enforcement. You know, heck, it's cause and effect, buddy. But at any rate, what we see right now is extremely slow speeds. Law enforcement slowing the traffic behind this vehicle. That vehicle still driving. Is it running out of gas? Is there a conversation going on inside that cab right now? Hopefully, whatever it is, it's going to lead to a very peaceful ending with nobody getting hurt, including that possible victim and also that suspect behind the wheel. Law enforcement, this is something that we don't bring up enough. They are concerned about everybody's safety when it comes to taking people into custody. Right now, though, definitely looks like this carjacking vehicle is slowing down. And maybe to a stop. Is that because of the driver's desire? Maybe it's running out of gas. Unclear, but not a very good spot if this turns out to be a standoff, because we are on the southbound 5 freeway making our way into Orange County. This is going to create a traffic nightmare if this vehicle stays on the freeway and this becomes a standoff. Carmenita. There you go. There you go. Hands out the window. Hands out the window. And it looks like the passenger window might be coming down as well. So it's clear that now it's more clear that there is somebody in the passenger side. I got to just double check. Yes, definitely seeing hands both sides. So the driver and the passenger. Something just went out the window right there. Not sure what that was, but something just went out the window. And this is very positive, especially for law enforcement. The door opening up on the passenger side, that believed to be the victim of the carjacking, possibly a kidnapping victim. Right now, though, she's out. She's got her hands out. The driver's out with the hands up as well. I'm sure they're following whatever the law enforcement is telling them to do. They're following the directions. They're going to make them get a little bit closer. They may take both of them into custody because, until they really know, you just don't know what was going on inside that pickup truck. So the driver, definitely the number one that they're going to want to get into cuffs. I saw that female get back up. Maybe she's going to continue walking back to the law enforcement. But don't be surprised if they put cuffs on her. It's not because they're trying to be bullies or whatever. They just want to make sure that she is a victim and there's not something else going on. They don't know until they know, and that's the deal with law enforcement. But definitely coming to an end. That's Carmenita is going to be the off-ramp, southbound 5 freeway. Long pursuit, some very dangerous moments. Thank goodness no vehicles got damaged in this chase. But until those cuffs are on for both of them and they're being talked to by law enforcement, this is going to be a situation until we see that it is over. Right now, though, like I said, they're going to put the cuffs on her, talk to her, try to figure out exactly what's going on. The driver of that vehicle, the same thing's going to happen to him. But right now, they just got to get him into custody. And again, if this was a carjacking, possibility of a weapon still in play. That's right. That's the suspect. That is the driver. We got to be clear about that. That was the person driving this pickup truck erratically for so long. She did get out. They did take her into custody first. They have cuffs on her. But again, just to figure out exactly what's going on. A little bit of communication between the officer and the suspect right there. Possibly just asking if you're going to resist. Do you have a weapon? Anything like that. We clearly saw the head nod, but they're going to take this person into custody right now. Figure out exactly what was going on in this whole scenario. But before that actually starts happening, you can see those officers right there making that approach to the vehicle, making sure that there's nobody else inside there. And again, it just is the same thing. Until all possibilities of danger have been eliminated, there's always a possibility of danger. There you go, the Universal Code 4. That means there's nobody inside that vehicle. And now they're going to hopefully let some of that traffic open up on the southbound 5 freeway because it is building so quickly. But 2 people in custody, nobody was injured. This is the type of pursuit. If we have to cover them, these are the ones that I always like. Well, I can tell you, California Highway Patrol, they are one of the things that they are always on their mind is traffic on the freeway moving. So they're going to open up these lanes as soon as possible. Hopefully they're going to do it here in the next moment or two. Southbound 5, you saw that shot for asking Justin to pan up there. It is backing up quite a bit, but they have to make sure that that vehicle is off to the side. They have to see what was possibly tossed out, and I can tell you right now, just this very second, they are starting to open up those lanes again. There you go. They got traffic passing by. So the 5 freeway, there's some slowing there. It'll probably be 30 minutes before it really goes back to normal. But California Highway Patrol do an amazing job. They were the ones that were there when this vehicle definitely pulled over, ran out of gas. I wonder if we'll ever really find out. And again, the Sheriff's Department, they had it for the longest time.
Search of his person, so they're basically just searching his pocket. Search of his person, so they're basically just searching his pockets, searching his clothes, making sure that there's nothing on him that could potentially harm the officers. And once they feel comfortable, they'll place him in the back of the squad car and take him off to the station. And that is going to be the latest here for us from over the 5 freeway in Santa Fe Springs. Lolita.